Never miss an episode of Create, Build, and Manage Daily again. Subscribe to our podcast and listen on the go.
My next guest has been an accountant, co-founder of a Canadian basketball league, and successfully launched a landscaping business. He's now using his nearly 30 years in business to help others with the launching of the Blue Claw Group. Ian McCarthy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate your time. By the way, I'm curious, of all your things that you've done, why you got into the landscaping business.
Well, like you mentioned, I was an accountant and I was bored. And one of my clients happened to be a landscaper, and a sale had fallen through on the business. So he offered it dirt cheap, and I ended up buying it.
No pun intended right there, landscaping dirt cheap. Just having a little fun with you there, Ian. What do you credit your success to? Because you've had success in several different types of businesses. Is there any one or two things you'd point to that says, this is why I'm successful?
I would say mentors, number one, finding people that have gone through similar things and learning how to avoid pitfalls through their teaching and their experience. Secondly, you're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations yourself and figure it out. And then third, just never stop learning, always trying to expand and learn. And, over the past 20 years, we've had a huge changes in the economy and social media and things. So you've got to be able to stay up to speed with these things.
And I would think knowing your numbers too, you mentioned your background in accounting, that's like the first thing I usually tell people is get a good accountant. I guess in your case, you already know accounting, which is certainly beneficial to you. But now you're shifting to this interest in helping others. And that I'm very curious about that, Ian, because with the success you've had in your businesses, man, you can ride out, enjoy it, take great trips. But you said, you know what? I'm going to focus my energy on helping others. Why? What's your interest? Why do you want to help others in their business journeys?
It was completely happenstance. I joined a group of landscape company owners called the GOAT Gang, which stands for those trying to be the greatest of all time. And many of them are younger. So as I'm posting videos about my company, my job sites, my processes, they start reaching out to me, asking if I'll help them, if they can learn from me. Had a few fly out and want to follow me around. And I just decided that I wanted to create events that they could attend rather than be bombarded randomly, if you will. And just seeing their eyes light up and just the light bulbs going off was so rewarding that it just led me to realize that I wanted to do this more and people need it.
Well, it's awesome that you're doing that, because it is weird, Ian, when you reach that stage of your career. You mentioned your success early on was people being a mentor to you, and then you wake up, it's like a blink of an eye, and you become the mentor. And you mentioned events, so let's talk about your 2-day workshop. What's that about?
So Know Your Numbers, it's a 2-day workshop. I did not want it to be a simple lecture because accounting can put people to sleep. But I basically took a Excel spreadsheet that I used in my company over the years to calculate our operating budget and really inform what our pricing needed to be in our volume in order to hit our budget goals. And I decided that I was going to distribute that spreadsheet to the attendees, and then I would tutor them in how to enter their numbers into it to come out with the results. And that's about half of it, because once they get the results, sometimes they're quite surprised, and for the good or the bad. And so then it becomes, how do you adjust your numbers? How do you adjust your business? What key performance indicators can you derive from this information that's going to dictate to you how to operate your business? Because accountants are great at telling you what you did last year when it's too late. But this workshop is intending to tell you what you're going to do next year and how to achieve your goals.
I'm here to tell you, and we have a lot of, we affectionately refer to them as wantrepreneurs who watch the show, people who want to be in business for themselves. What Ian just said is the most important thing you can ever do when starting your own business, is understanding and knowing your numbers. But Ian, let's be honest, there are seasoned business leaders, we're talking CEOs, that avoid learning the numbers. Why do you think so many business leaders would rather put it off to somebody else than take the time to understand the numbers themselves?
Well, I think everybody wants to talk gross revenue, but there's a lot more important things than gross revenue. You can make money on every single job that you do. And I tell contractors that, you can celebrate a win, but how do you know that the profit you made on that job today is enough repeated to cover your overhead for the entire year? So it's a multiple layered information and tracking that you need to do in order to know that you're on track. And having a business failure or success can either ruin a family, marriage, or it can give you tremendous freedom. So it's very important to pay attention to these numbers and know what you need to be looking for. But I think as, CEOs and stuff like that who may not come from an accounting background, they're more interested in driving gross dollars.
I'll put your website up there for those who are watching tonight on BizTV. It is blueclawgroup.com. There it is. And again, if you're listening to our podcast, blueclawgroup.com. Great success, Ian. What's next for you as you look toward the new year?
Well, we acquired a tennis court and sport court company in July. We launched a pool company last year. So we're really trying to bring those into maturity and stabilize them, as well as continue to operate the landscaping company and do the teaching and consulting, focused around the off season.
Ian,
full plate.
Yeah, Ian, do you ever sleep? Maybe you take an afternoon nap on Sundays. Hey, we got 90 seconds left. Any tips for business owners tonight? Just a little nugget you can leave them that they can put in practice starting this week that's going to make their business better.
I would say half of success in life is showing up. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself, to go to events, go to seek out other people who can help you in your line of business, because whatever you spend on that is going to be pennies compared to either the success it's going to help you or the pitfalls you're going to avoid from it.
Ian, we had a podcast group on earlier on the show tonight. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast and taking all that knowledge and pushing it out that way?
Yeah, I'm looking at possibly taking some of this teaching online education. So we're looking at various ways of doing that.
That's awesome. All right, Ian, I appreciate your time and sharing us with your success and your stories. And again, that website, if you'd like to learn more, you can reach out to Ian. Just simply go to blueclawgroup.com. Again, blueclawgroup.com. And if there's any takeaway tonight on the show, I want to just emphasize this again, is knowing your numbers is going to help you grow your business. Listen to what Ian said. It's not just about gross sales. It's making sure those sales will cover all your expenses. Stick around. This is Create, Build, and Manage Daily.